back to my channel. This is Sacred Scars Unbroken Spirit, and this is my life story. I am currently writing a book that will be available at a later date. Now, today's video is going to be part one of a two-part series. We started out last week introducing some of the struggles that I faced in middle and high school, both personal and socially. We talked about how I overcame many insecurities after being bullied, taking matters into my own hands, and just completely transforming my whole life after being pushed to my limit with the bullying. A glow up like no other. Despite this incredible change in both my appearance and demeanor, I still struggled in many different ways when it came to attracting boys. After many failed attempts just trying to find a date for the school dance, every year it was something different. Lies, manipulation, betrayal, and not from just these boys, but also from my peers too. Ultimately, and unfortunately, I ended up unsuccessful in finding a date every single year, all through middle and high school. If you'd like to hear the full details, go ahead and go back and watch my last video as it goes into way more depth describing each individual circumstance. In today's video, we're going to focus on one more person that completely played me in high school. He's part of a bigger scenario that we will circle back to and go into more detail in the next video in part two. All right, let's get started. When I was in high school, I dated a guy that was not my first boyfriend, but he did set off what seemed to be a domino effect of abusive relationships that went on the entirety of my 20s, well into my early 30s. For privacy reasons, I'm going to make up a name for this story, for sake of ease of telling this story. So this boyfriend we're going to call Dave. Dave was not abusive, but he did betray me. Looking back, I honestly don't even know if it was real. We dated for a few months, but for all I know, he could have been playing in my face the whole entire time. So it started out in a mutual friend group. I developed a crush and hints were dropped. And eventually it just kind of developed organically. He did tattoos under the table. He was not licensed, just a thing he did at home, but his art was good. So I decided to take the initiative and ask him for my first tattoo. I got DSFG on my back. It stands for Down South Florida Girl. So we had great conversation there while he was doing my tattoo, and it went on from there. We were both 17 years old, and he had dropped out of high school. I was in my senior year. Now, I will acknowledge that there were times that I did not pick the best of men to date. I think we all go through phases like this to some degree as teenagers and young adults. So things were going well over the course of the few months that we dated, or so I thought. I spent time over at his house every single day. Then came time to start thinking about senior prom. Naturally, I wanted my boyfriend at the time to be my date. And as usual, I offered to buy his ticket. These days, I have called back my power. I no longer invest in men that don't emotionally invest in me. But also, I do enjoy the rare opportunity to get to soften into my feminine. I've spent the majority of my life in my masculine energy, being the go-getter. So I've learned now that it's important to find balance and that relationships should be reciprocal. And I do realize that back then I was getting desperate. I just wanted someone to escort me to the dance, just once. That's all I wanted. This was senior prom. It was important to me. But Dave declined my offer. I was hurt. I couldn't understand why my own man would not take me to the dance, even when I offered to pay for everything. I ended up hearing through the grapevine that he had said that he didn't want to be seen with me. That hurt. That hurt, knowing that he was trying to hide me, even though lots of people knew we were together, especially our mutual friend group. Like, it wasn't a secret. So I still chose to go to prom by myself and not let Dave's absence get me down. I danced the night away with my friends, and I had a wonderful time overall. Now, my loyalty runs deep, even when being treated badly, clearly. I left my prom early. I could have gone out and partied with my friends, but I chose not to. I wanted to be with my man. So I thought I would surprise him and show up early. When I got to his house, he was sprawled out in the middle of the living room floor, just completely passed out drunk with a bottle of alcohol next to him. This was very upsetting to me because, like I said, I could have gone out and done the exact same thing, but I chose not to. This was my prom night. So after all of that, I did end up leaving. I mean, at this point, I kind of felt like, that's it. My night's been ruined. So it was bad enough that he wouldn't even take me to the prom, let alone instead spent the whole night getting intoxicated. That just wasn't okay. So that was pretty much the last straw. I did end up pulling away from the relationship, and Dave never said anything. I think deep down it's what he wanted, but didn't have the courage to tell me to my face. So it organically fell apart just as it had started. I couldn't prove it, but deep down I felt something was off. The way he wouldn't claim me as his girlfriend, the way he didn't want to take me to prom. They say love is blind, and I was very naive at the time. I didn't want to accept that these things were happening. There came a point after breaking up, he already had a new girlfriend. That's when everything clicked. I realized my spidey senses were not wrong. He was cheating the whole time, multiple women. And I had no doubt in my mind that this new girl was just another toy to him too. It's weird to me that people will do this. Like, if you didn't want me in the first place, why lead me on? I can appreciate that people enjoy my company and everything, but it costs $0 to be straightforward and just say you're not interested. So a little over a year after our breakup, Dave was involved in setting up I'm going to be cryptic here, setting up a shrubbery gone wrong. A mutual friend was unalived, and I witnessed the majority of the setup. I ended up having to testify in everyone's trial, including Dave's. So next week in part 2, we'll discuss in greater detail the events of this incident and the things I've had to heal from getting indirectly involved in something that I wanted absolutely nothing to do with. So I want to thank you all for watching, and I hope that you have enjoyed today's video. If you did, be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel for more crazy stories. That is my life. Thank you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.